My child, my beloved, the one God made with such care. Why are your fingers suddenly trembling? Why is your heart racing before you've even read a full sentence? Because you know. You already know. Something holy is trying to reach you. And it's not just one angel this time. 5 archangels are gathered right now. 5 of heaven's strongest forces are trying to reach just one soul. You. You have only 15 minutes. And if you ignore this, it may be the last time your name echoes through heaven in this way. This isn't fear. This is love, screaming before silence arrives. Let me say it again, my beautiful soul. 5 archangels are desperately trying to speak to you. If you turn away from this now, you may never hear them again. Please, don't break this divine connection. Because what's coming will change your path forever. And listen. Before we continue, the archangels want you to do something small but sacred. Subscribe to this divine voice, so heaven always knows how to find you. Yes, click that. Let your soul stay connected, protected, and prepared. The angel said, only those who align will receive the full miracle. Now, let me take your hand. Let me carry your spirit through this message like a soft wind through golden fields. Because time is disappearing fast. 15 minutes is all you have. But this message will feel like heaven itself has slowed time. Just for you. You think you're reading this randomly? No, my dear. This message broke 1,000 blocks of resistance to reach your screen. God Himself whispered. Tell them now. Or they will fall into something they never asked for. You were never meant to see this so late. But grace delayed it. So it would arrive right when your soul was ready. Are you ready? Are you open? Can you handle the truth that 5 archangels are pleading to reveal? Because here it comes. Word by word. Divine breath to divine breath. We're pulling you out of something deadly. Something has been haunting your timeline. A loop. A delay. A strange pattern of pain repeating again and again. And it's not your fault. But it's your responsibility to break it. Archangel Uriel said, light must burst through this darkness. But they must choose it. And Michael. He's on his knees. Yes, the great archangel, he is kneeling in front of the throne right now. Begging God not to let you skip this. Can you feel the urgency? Can you feel the fire behind these words? Because this is not a script. This is a spiritual rescue mission. And you are the one soul it's for. Keep reading. Because the archangels have seen what's coming. Something is about to knock on your door. And if you don't hear what heaven is screaming now, you'll open the wrong door. To the wrong fate. to the wrong person. But wait. Do you remember last night's dream? That odd feeling when you woke up with someone's name in your head? That was no coincidence. That was Raphael sending you a name heaven is watching closely. There's someone you need to be careful of. Someone whose energy has been draining you silently. They smile. But inside, they envy what heaven has written over your life. And you've been too kind, too forgiving, too afraid to walk away. But Gabriel says, you will not see your blessing fully if you keep their curse near your energy. You have less than 15 minutes now. The spiritual clock is ticking. You were meant to be wealthy, protected, loved without confusion, surrounded by loyalty, covered in divine favor. But the enemy marked you early, because your future scared them. Now the angels are rising. The five: Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, and Zadkiel. All gathered. All pressing their wings around your name. And all they ask is, don't skip this. Don't rush. Let heaven speak. Because the person you've been thinking of, they're in spiritual conflict about you. One part of their soul is drawn to your light. But another part is still chained to the past. And tonight, a decision will be made about you. That's why this message came now. Not a second later. My beloved, if you saw what the angels saw, you would be crying too. A timeline split is forming. One path leads to divine restoration. The other, to another painful cycle. But only you can choose. Let me be honest. God is not trying to control your life. He's trying to gift it back to you. With all the beauty that was stolen. But He needs you to listen now. Not tomorrow. Not after this video. Now. Because the attack has already started. It just hasn't reached your front door yet. But it will. Unless you listen. And if you do listen, if you keep reading, something shocking will reverse. A curse will break. A document will shift. A person will return with a different spirit. Yes, this is that serious. You don't need to do much. Just finish this message. And let your spirit stay open. Because this is not a message from earth. This is a summons from heaven. And you only get 15 minutes. My child. Keep going. My beloved. There are moments in time where heaven bends and leans down so close that if you're still enough, you can feel its breath on your soul. This is one of those moments. The clock has started ticking in the spirit realm, and every second that passes is echoing through realms unseen. 15 minutes. That's what you've been given. Not by me, but by divine order. 5 archangels aren't just trying to contact you casually. They are screaming across dimensions. Your name has been marked in heaven with golden fire, and it's glowing right now because something has been unlocked. Something that was hidden for years. Something that was blocked because of fear, manipulation, or someone else's interference. And now, finally, heaven is ready to hand it back to you, but only if you don't walk away from this message. Only if you let your heart stay open a little longer, even if it hurts. Especially if it hurts. Because the pain you've carried? It wasn't just emotional, it was spiritual warfare. You weren't just heartbroken, you were spiritually attacked. And God saw it. Every tear you cried in silence. Every time you stayed quiet when you were falsely blamed. Every night you tried to sleep but were haunted by memories, regrets, and things you never got closure for. The archangels have written it all down. They haven't forgotten. They haven't abandoned you. In fact, they've been trying to reach you for weeks, but something in your environment has been blocking divine signals. Someone around you is masking themselves with light, but behind your back, they carry shadows. This message is heaven's last attempt to expose the deception before it's too late. Yes, too late. Not as a threat, but as a truth. Because spiritual windows don't stay open forever. And if you skip this, the door will shut before your miracle steps through. Michael has drawn his sword. That's not just a poetic phrase, it's a sacred action. It means divine intervention is now in motion. He is ready to cut cords, close enemy mouths, and cancel attacks before they manifest in the physical. But here's the part no one wants to hear: he can only act if you say yes. If you let go of the fear that's been quietly poisoning your faith. If you stop apologizing for how deeply you feel. Because your sensitivity is not your weakness, it's your gift. The enemy targeted you young because he saw your light. And when he couldn't take it, he tried to distract you with fake lovers, confusing friendships, and shameful patterns that made you think you were the problem. But heaven says otherwise. Heaven says you are not broken, you are chosen. And what feels like chaos right now is actually the sound of chains falling in the spiritual realm. Do you feel it? That heaviness lifting? That's not your imagination. That's freedom arriving. You keep asking God for a sign, but what if this is the sign? What if this message found you because angels were dispatched with instructions to intercept your timeline? You're not just being warned, you're being rescued. And not just from enemies you know about, but from battles you never even saw. People who smiled in your face but whispered curses behind your back. Meetings that were held to ruin your reputation. Deals made in the dark to block your finances. Yes, God saw it all. And no, He will not let it succeed. But you have to stay in alignment. And that starts with not skipping this message. With reading every word like your future depends on it, because it does. One decision, one delay, one distracted thought could cost you more than you realize. There is someone coming into your life with a purpose so big that even hell tried to stop it. A divine connection. Not just romantic, but redemptive. Someone your soul remembers. Someone whose name has been written beside yours in the books of destiny. But right now, they're confused. Pulled between two paths. And you, yes, you, are the compass they've been spiritually searching for. But you can't guide them if you're still lost in your own maze. That's why this message is here, to break the cycle. To prepare your spirit so you don't miss the moment. Because that moment is closer than you think. And if you're not ready, it will pass by like a train in the night, loud but gone before you even realized it stopped for you. But if you are ready, oh beloved, if you are ready, you will walk into a season so full of alignment, confirmation, peace, and favor that you'll wonder how you ever survived without it. But there is something else, something urgent. A person in your environment is under spiritual surveillance. Not by the police. By heaven. They've been warned multiple times to stop speaking against you. To stop tampering with your destiny. But they didn't listen. And now, judgment is coming. Not as punishment, but as correction. And you are not to interfere. Do not warn them. Do not reach out. Do not try to be their shield. That season is over. You tried. You prayed. You cried for them. And God counted every tear. But now He's asking you to release them. Because if you keep them too close, their karma will spill over onto your blessing. And heaven loves you too much to let that happen. You were not born to be anyone's savior. You were born to be a vessel. Let God be God, and you, be obedient. The angel said one more thing, and this one might make your heart stop for a moment. Someone you love who is in heaven has been watching over you. They've been trying to get a message through. And this is it. Yes, this message. They orchestrated part of it. They wept when they saw what was done to you. They rejoiced when you didn't give up. And now, they're whispering into your spirit. Don't miss what's coming. It's your time now. You may feel chills reading this. You may suddenly remember a voice, a scent, a dream. That's confirmation. You're not alone. You've never been alone. And you won't be alone in the next chapter. My child, there's only one thing left to say right now. You are not late. You are right on time. You didn't miss the blessing. You didn't ruin your destiny. You didn't fall too far. In fact, you're standing on the edge of something so sacred, so big, so perfectly aligned that heaven is holding its breath just to see what you'll choose. And I pray, oh, how I pray, you'll choose to trust again. My beloved child. Do you know why your heart suddenly feels like it's beating louder than before? Why your breath seems to pause just long enough for heaven to whisper through it. It's because something holy is happening around you right now, even if your eyes can't fully see it yet. 5 archangels are watching you. Not with judgment, but with deep, divine concern. The sky is not quiet tonight. The spirit realm is not still. There is a sacred urgency swirling around your name. You have only 15 minutes. And I don't say this to scare you. I say this because it's the truth written in golden ink across today's sky. You were meant to open this now. Not 10 minutes later. Not after your mind wanders. Now. Because if you don't, you may miss the single moment that was designed to bring your entire future back into alignment. There are 5 archangels standing in a circle around your life. Archangel Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael, and Zadkiel. They are not just angels, they are heaven's military, God's most trusted messengers. And they're all trying to reach just one person, you. Because something or someone is about to make a move that changes your story. It could bless you beyond anything you've imagined or break something you've been fighting hard to hold together. That's why this message came urgently. That's why heaven stirred the air and pulled your spirit here. Because there are forces you don't see moving toward your name, and not all of them come in light. Some wear masks. Some speak sweetly while sowing confusion behind your back. But nothing hidden will stay hidden. Not anymore. God is shifting the winds in your favor, and the archangels are being dispatched now to protect, reveal, and restore. But your awareness must meet their action. You must not skip this. You must stay present. Michael's sword is not just a symbol of battle, it is a declaration of divine timing. When Michael draws his sword, heaven pauses. Because what's about to be cut loose will never bind again. What's about to be exposed will never have power again. But before this happens, a divine pause has been placed over your path, a window of grace. And you, beloved, are standing inside it. Do you feel it? That ache in your chest? That flutter in your spirit? That's not anxiety. That's confirmation. It's your soul recognizing what your eyes have yet to see. This is not a message for everyone. This is only for the ones heaven has chosen to call back. To realign. To awaken. That's you. That's why you're still reading. That's why you can't look away. Because this is the moment you've been unknowingly walking toward your entire life. A holy interruption. A reset. A redemption. You've been through storms others don't even know how to name. Betrayals that still echo in the deepest part of your heart. Doors that slammed when all you did was love purely. And yet, you kept going. You kept believing. Even when your voice was shaking. Even when all heaven heard were your tears instead of your words. You kept the faith. And because of that, the archangels have surrounded your name. They are speaking it out loud in the courts of heaven. And God, the one who never sleeps, is nodding. Because the time has come. What was delayed is arriving. What was denied is being handed to you. But you must not let fear distract you now. Because fear is the final test. It always arrives right before breakthrough. The enemy wants you tired, confused, doubtful. But heaven says, you are ready. My dear one, there's a person around you who has been pretending to be in your favor, but behind closed doors, they've sown words against you. They've doubted you, questioned you, even mocked your dreams. And it's not always out of hatred, sometimes it's envy wearing love's clothing. But God sees the heart. And the heart of this person is being weighed in heaven's scale. Do not be shocked when they are removed. It will feel sudden, but it is sacred. Because their presence cannot travel into your next season. They are a delay, not a destiny. They are a lesson, not a lifetime. Let them go in peace. And trust that what is being removed is clearing space for what is divinely yours. You won't need to force anything in this next chapter. What's yours will arrive with clarity, peace, and confirmation. And now, listen closely. The archangels want you to know something hidden. A piece of your purpose has been concealed, even from you. But not out of punishment, out of protection. There were battles you weren't ready to fight yet. Layers that needed healing first. But now, the veil is thinning. The truth is coming. And with it, the responsibility to walk in the fullness of who you were born to be. You are not just called. You are anointed. There is oil on your name. And where there is oil, there is opposition. That's why it's been hard. That's why you've been misunderstood, underestimated, and overlooked. But God is flipping the script. Your name is being whispered in rooms you haven't entered yet. Opportunities are being prepared with your soul's signature already written on them. Divine reversals are already underway. Someone you once cried over will try to come back, not because they've changed, but because they've finally realized your worth. But the archangels are warning you, discern. Not everyone who returns is part of the promise. Some are sent to test your growth. Some are sent to tempt you into shrinking back into old versions of yourself. Do not let nostalgia make you forget how far you've come. Protect your progress. And if you must choose between peace and attention, always choose peace. Because peace is heaven's confirmation that you're in alignment. And that's what this message is truly about, realignment. You're not being warned because something bad is coming. You're being awakened because something better is arriving. And you need to be ready. Emotionally. Spiritually. Even physically. Take care of your body. Speak life over your mind. Rest when you need to. You are preparing to carry something heavy with light, a purpose so profound it will outlive you. Heaven is asking for your attention now, because in just a few days, you will see why this message came exactly when it did. A sudden shift. An unexpected conversation. A divine appointment. These aren't random. They are threads of a tapestry that's being woven on your behalf. And when it all comes together, you will see, it was never falling apart. It was falling into place. So hold on. Stay close to the divine. Keep your heart soft and your spirit alert. The archangels are not just visiting. They're escorting your next miracle. Don't miss them. Don't ignore the signs. This is your moment. This is your 15-minute window. This is your divine rescue. But before we move further, there's something you need to understand. The reason you've been feeling restless, the reason you've been waking up in the middle of the night, sensing something is shifting but not knowing what, is because your spirit is already aware of what's coming. Heaven speaks first in whispers, then in signs, and finally in the language of urgency. This message is that final language. This is not a coincidence. This is an orchestration. The archangels have been watching the timelines unfold, and what they've seen is both beautiful and dangerous. You are on the verge of a breakthrough that could not only elevate your life but awaken generations through you. But the danger is, you may walk away from it too soon. You may doubt your worth at the very edge of your reward. That's why Michael is here. That's why 5 archangels are pleading for your attention. Because if they don't reach you now, the enemy might. And heaven refuses to stay silent when your life is hanging in the balance. Let's speak about the dream you had, the one that didn't make sense. The one you brushed off. That wasn't just a dream. That was a spiritual briefing. A coded message from your guides trying to prepare you. You saw someone in that dream who isn't part of your life now, but their presence lingers. That's because they are connected to your next test. They may reach out soon. They may appear kind, familiar, safe. But the angels are saying, do not fall for comfort. Fall for calling. Your calling is loud right now. It's knocking on the doors of your doubt. And your future doesn't lie in what is easy. It lies in what is anointed. It lies in what stretches you into the divine version of yourself that this world so desperately needs. And there's more. Archangel Gabriel has a message you've been postponing, a truth about your voice. You've been silencing yourself. Shrinking your truth. Making yourself small so others don't feel threatened. But no more. Your voice is a trumpet, and the time has come to blow it. Speak what you know. Share what you've seen. Your story has power, and you've underestimated how many people are waiting to be set free by the chains you've already broken. You're not just a survivor. You are a signal. A divine signal that says, this is what redemption looks like. And the angels are ready to push you forward, into rooms where your presence will cause divine disruption. Into circles that will finally see you as God sees you, radiant, chosen, unshakable. Beloved, there's also a financial shift that has been held up, and it's tied to someone else's energy. The moment you cut ties with that draining connection, doors will fly open. Yes, instantly. Delayed inheritance, blocked funds, sudden job offers, they're all being influenced by your alignment. God never intended for you to struggle this long. But some lessons had to come through pressure. The kind of pressure that purifies. The kind of pressure that doesn't just bless you but transforms you. And now, the financial freedom you've cried for, it's here. But it will only stay if your circle is clean. Guard your space. Purify your environment. Because money is not just currency, it's energy. And your new season requires clean hands and a clear heart. You've also been seeing numbers, repeating patterns, divine codes. 1111, 444, 555. These are not random. These are the alarms of the angelic realm. They've been trying to nudge you, wake you, remind you that you are never alone. Every number carries a message. 111 means alignment. 444 means angelic protection. 555 means change. You're not imagining it. Heaven is relentless when your future is at stake. They'll flash signs, send dreams, interrupt routines, all to make sure you don't walk into a future that was never meant for you. So if you're wondering why things have felt uncomfortable, it's because you're growing too big for the life you were settling for. You're meant for expansion. And God is stretching you in every direction, not to punish you, but to prepare you. And now, your name. Oh beloved, your name has been spoken in heaven. Not just in prayer, but in prophecy. There is something attached to your name that the enemy hoped you'd never discover. You've been marked since birth. Marked with grace. Marked with power. Marked with divine authority. That's why you've always felt different. That's why fitting in never worked. You were never meant to blend in. You were born to stand out. You were born to disrupt darkness. And when you embrace that fully, when you stop apologizing for the light you carry, heaven will open gates you didn't even know existed. You will walk into favor that doesn't make sense. You will receive calls that don't match your resume. That's what favor does. That's what divine timing looks like. So now the angels ask, will you listen? Will you obey the nudge in your spirit? Will you stop delaying what your soul already knows is true? Because they cannot force your destiny on you. It's an invitation, not a demand. But it is urgent. And if you skip this, something precious may pass you by. So stay. Stay here. Stay present. Stay open. Heaven is not done speaking. And neither is your story. You're only in the middle. The best part hasn't been written yet. And if you keep walking, if you keep listening, if you keep trusting, you'll look back and say, "Now I understand why it all had to happen this way." There is something else, something heaven hasn't allowed to be spoken until now. Because timing is everything in the spirit realm. And the time has finally come to reveal it. Someone you once trusted was shown your future. Not in a dream. Not in a conversation. But in a spiritual revelation. They were shown the magnitude of your calling, the size of your breakthrough, and instead of celebrating it, they tried to interfere. They tried to manipulate outcomes, whisper confusion into your name, and delay what God had already written. But here is the miracle: they failed. They will always fail. Because what God ordains, no human can stop. What heaven opens, no hand on earth can close. And you, chosen one, are entering a season that was prayed into existence by your ancestors. That's why it's so sacred. That's why it's so protected. Even when it doesn't feel like it, angels have been guarding you fiercely. Archangel Raphael has been healing wounds you don't even remember getting. Wounds from childhood. From relationships that didn't honor you. From opportunities that overlooked you. You've been moving through life carrying pain like invisible luggage, smiling for the world, but aching in silence. But no more. The healing is now complete. The final piece is forgiveness, not just for others, but for yourself. You did the best you could with what you knew. Now you know more. And now you'll choose better. And heaven celebrates this evolution. Because you're not who you used to be. You've grown, shifted, awakened. You've risen out of every fire thrown your way. And because of that, what's coming will not be temporary. This time, it will stay. This time, it will pour. This time, it will overflow. Your cup will not only be filled, it will bless those around you. And about the person you've been thinking of, yes, that one. The one who feels like a mirror, but also a mystery. Their soul has been whispering your name in places you cannot hear. They've felt your energy even in silence. They've dreamed of you without realizing why. And now, they're on a path of awakening. They're being shown who you truly are. Their spirit is remembering. And though they may not reach out today, they will. Because destiny has already made the introduction. Divine timing is arranging the reunion. But until then, the archangels ask you to prepare. To grow into the person your destiny has been waiting for. Don't wait to be seen. Start becoming. Because when they arrive, you won't need to explain who you are. Your energy will speak. Your alignment will shine. And your connection, it will feel like home. But be warned, as this light rises in your life, the shadows will try to re-enter. Old distractions. Old patterns. Even old habits you thought were buried. The enemy doesn't care if you're spiritual, he only cares if you're effective. So guard your gates. Be mindful of what you consume, of who you trust. Because some people are not coming to support, they're coming to study. They don't love you, they're fascinated by you. And fascination can quickly become sabotage if envy is involved. But this time, you'll see it. You'll feel it. And most importantly, you'll have the strength to walk away before it steals your peace. You've matured spiritually. You're no longer available for chaos disguised as connection. There is also a location shift coming. A divine relocation. Whether physical or energetic, your environment is about to change. Because your current space can no longer contain your next level. Walls are shrinking around a soul that's expanding. You may feel uncomfortable. Unsettled. Like something is missing. That's not confusion, that's invitation. Heaven is calling you higher. And the discomfort is just spiritual labor pains. You are birthing something holy. Something the world has never seen in the way you will bring it forth. So if you feel alone, it's because leaders always walk ahead of the crowd. If you feel misunderstood, it's because your frequency is no longer average. And that's not your burden. That's your confirmation. You were born for more. My beloved, you've spent too much time waiting for permission. Waiting for signs. Waiting for people to catch up. But God says, go now. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait for applause. Heaven is your witness. Heaven is your support. You are not crazy. You are called. You are not late. You are perfectly timed. And no matter who doubts you, the angels are backing you up with fire in their wings. Doors will open for you that stayed locked for others. Resources will find you. People will align with your purpose. Miracles will not skip you this time. But they require motion. You cannot stay in the same place expecting different glory. This is your cue to move. To trust. To leap. Because everything you've prayed for, it's not just on the way. It's already arrived. And the only thing that can delay it now is disbelief. So breathe. Let this message sink into your bones. Let it awaken the parts of you that have been sleeping. You are not forgotten. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. The wilderness is ending. The wandering is done. A new chapter is here. And it begins the moment you say yes, to healing, to growth, to alignment, to the divine version of yourself that was always inside you. You are the answered prayer. You are the light carrier. You are the miracle in motion. And heaven is watching with joy as you rise into the fullness of who you really are. The heavens are not quiet right now. They are roaring with the sound of your name being spoken by angels, by ancestors, by every soul who ever hoped to see you break free from the patterns that try to hold you back. There is no small talk in the spirit realm tonight, only divine declarations. And one of them carries your name. The archangels aren't just observing anymore. They're moving, actively shifting things in your favor, closing wrong doors so the right ones swing wide, blocking harmful alliances, elevating your name in hidden places. You don't even know how many dangers you've been shielded from in just the last 72 hours. Because protection doesn't always look like angels with wings, sometimes it looks like delays, detours, or even breakups. Sometimes, rejection was heaven's redirection in disguise. And now, what once felt like loss will begin to look like divine loyalty. Archangel Uriel, the light of God, has lit a torch inside your spirit. You may feel like you're seeing things differently all of a sudden, people, situations, memories. That's not imagination. That's clarity. A spiritual download. You're beginning to recognize who was for you and who was only around you for convenience. You're beginning to remember things that once confused you. You're feeling prompted to clean, release, let go, walk away, say no. That's not moodiness. That's sacred purification. Because when heaven prepares to elevate someone, it first sanctifies the space around them. And right now, your space, your mental space, emotional space, physical space, is being cleared by divine force. It may feel like things are being taken. But what's really happening is this: God is making room. You've come too far to let fear win now. The spirit of fear has wrapped itself around generations in your bloodline, whispering doubt into the ears of your ancestors, causing hesitation, causing delay. But not you. You are the curse breaker. You are the interruption to generational dysfunction. You are the divine defiance of every lie that said you wouldn't make it. You are what someone else prayed for. What someone else didn't survive for. Your strength didn't start with you, but your healing can. This is the moment where you stop bleeding for battles that are no longer yours. This is the moment you lay it down. Lay it all down. The guilt. The shame. The self-doubt. Heaven doesn't see you as broken. Heaven sees you as blooming. You are not behind. You are right on prophecy. And there's more. The angels are showing me a decision you've been postponing. Something you keep revisiting, overthinking, delaying. But deep down, your soul already knows the answer. You've just been afraid of what obedience might cost you. Let me be direct: obedience may cost you your comfort zone, but disobedience will cost you your calling. Choose wisely. Because when you finally say yes, truly, fully, completely, the floodgates will open. Divine partnerships. Restored health. Financial release. Unexplainable peace. But heaven will not reward hesitation. Heaven responds to faith. Even when your voice shakes. Even when your hands tremble. Even when all you have is mustard seed belief, move anyway. Speak anyway. Leap anyway. Because this time, you will not fall. You will fly. The divine wants you to know that restoration is not just possible, it's promised. What you thought was over is not over. What you thought was dead is being resurrected. A dream. A connection. A vision. Even parts of you, your joy, your laughter, your boldness, are coming back to life. Slowly at first, then all at once. Because resurrection is noisy. It's disruptive. And when God decides to raise something, nothing and no one can stop it. Get ready for strange favor. For fast favor. For unexpected yes and divine surprises. You'll walk into rooms where people already know your name. You'll be offered things you never applied for. That's not luck. That's the reward for staying faithful in private. God always rewards what's done in secret. Your obedience in the dark is about to be celebrated in the light. And finally, beloved, this message will soon fade from your screen. But the truth inside it will remain. Don't wait for the next message to do what you already know needs to be done. Don't wait for another delay to appreciate how aligned this moment truly is. 5 archangels have surrounded you. They're not just visiting, they're defending. They're not just watching, they're working. And God is not just observing, He's ordering. Ordering your steps. Ordering your peace. Ordering your miracles. Your only job now is to believe. To protect what you carry. To walk like someone who knows heaven has already said yes. Because they have. This is your final warning and your final invitation wrapped in one. Open your heart fully. Walk away from what you've outgrown. And prepare for what's arriving. You are not too late. You are not forgotten. You are not broken. You are chosen. You are ready. And you are rising.